Good afternoon, Strong Challengers. Today I have Caroline Wee on a call to discuss parenting during COVID. So I'm going to let Caroline take over here, and she has some very valuable information for you. If you have any questions while we're doing this presentation, feel free to comment below and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. If you're watching this after the fact, feel free to still put those comments below and we'll check back and respond to them as best we could. So welcome, Caroline. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Amy. Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Caroline Wee. I am the Association Child Care Services Director for the YMCA of the Chippewa Valley. And I want to talk today about parenting during COVID. I am also a Triple P practitioner, and you might be wondering what Triple P is. It is a positive parenting program. They offer seminars and one-on-one primary care for parents. It's a really amazing program. I'm happy to share some more. I put my email address at the end slide, so if you have questions more about Triple P, you can certainly ask and reach out about that as well. But today I wanted to talk about their guide on parenting during COVID because parenting is hard enough on a regular basis, but it is particularly challenging in 2020 as we've had a lot of things that have brought new stressors and challenges, maybe added some extra anxiety, sadness, uncertainty, even anger, not just for adults, but for our children. So we want to offer some helpful tips from Triple P on how to parent during COVID. Oops, I was hoping my slide would just switch. There we go. Sorry about that. So the number one thing is to reassure your child that your family is your top priority. In every interaction and conversation with your children, you want to remain as calm as possible. Children have already likely heard a little bit about COVID. My 4-year-old granddaughter, we took her through Irvine Park one day and we wouldn't let her play on the playground. And she said, oh, because of the COVID. So they pick these things up. They're hearing these things. So we want to reassure them that we're there for them. We want to help lessen their anxiety. The best way to do that is to just tell them straight out, I'm your parent. It's my job to keep you safe. And so we're doing everything that we can to make sure you're safe. And that's why we wash our hands. That's why we wear a mask. Maybe that's why we're not going to visit grandma or grandpa right now. But just letting them know that you are doing all that you can to keep them safe. Oops, sorry. The second thing is to take care of yourself as best you can. This is an important one for parents always. But again, as you're dealing with new stressors and uncertainty at work and family life and everything else, it is that much more important right now because we need to be in a good place in order to be in a good place for our children and to support them. So it's particularly important because there's a lot going on in our world right now. The best way to do that is to model how you effectively handle your own emotions for your children. So pay attention to your own emotions, how you're feeling from time to time. Sometimes we're running along and we think we're going fine and we're going, and then all of a sudden it hits us. And maybe in a weird time, I was in a meeting last week with my boss and we were just catching up what needs to be done, going over the checklist. Have we got everything ready? Are we moving along? And she stopped and she said, Caroline, how you doing? And I just started bawling. Because it just hit me out of nowhere. And at the end of the conversation, she asked me again, how you doing? And I said, I really just think I needed to have that moment, right? To let it out, to let it go. So if we're having one of those moments, and especially in front of our children, not that it's wrong for our children to see us cry, But, you know, if we're feeling especially anxious about something, we might want to excuse ourselves. I always tell people it's, you know, timeouts to calm our bodies aren't just for children. That can be for adults too. We need that time. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you getting, you know, good enough sleep? Are you eating well? Are you doing the strong challenge to make sure you're getting 20 minutes of exercise in there and reaching other goals that you set for yourself? Are you taking the time you need to relax? It's very important. So make sure that you're doing that. Do constant check-ins with yourself on your stress level. When we're talking about COVID and a lot of the other things that are going on in the world right now, it's okay to check in and be informed, but we don't want it to consume us because that can just increase our anxiety level. My husband's retired, so he is at home all day long, and I've had several mornings where I've had to say, okay, you watched the morning news, now you need to go take the dog for a walk or do something else or watch something else, because I would get home by the end of the day, the news would still be on and he'd be just panic stricken. I was like, take a break from that. So it's okay to take those breaks from that too. Let's see. So other things too, to take care of yourself, you know, again, working out, making sure you get enough sleep, exercise, reading, all of those things. But if you've tried all those things and it's still just not cutting it, it's okay to ask for help. Reach out to your doctor, mental health professional. The reason why I say this is because, you know, that I think it's something that we feel uncomfortable talking about, but we shouldn't. I wouldn't feel bad about asking someone to help me move a refrigerator because of my bad back, right? Why would I, especially during a pandemic, feel bad about asking for help because I'm extra stressed or anxious? So just know that for both you and your kiddos, that's something to remember to do as well. So number 3, make sure your child knows that you're ready to talk. Kids are not likely to be as preoccupied with COVID as we are as adults, but they are aware they're wearing masks to school and things are different. So, you know, you want to make sure that they understand that you're there for them and that you're going to answer their questions truthfully and that they can come to you. You never want to dismiss a conversation by saying, oh, that's silly, you don't need to worry about that, I've got it taken care of. You want to reassure them that you are there to talk to them about it. So be ready. And then when you do talk to them about it, be truthful in answering their questions. Find out first what they know so far or what they think they know, and then answer in simple, honest answers. You don't want to give them more information than they need or than they're asking for, because that might overwhelm them. It's just good to answer what questions they have and to use a trusted source. So their school, whatever their school is putting out, the Center for Disease Control or other health websites. Mayo Clinic has an excellent one. We don't want to just take things from social media, which if you have older children, that's where they're going to seek out their answers. And so again, you want to remind them, hey, if you have any questions, please come to me. I'm ready to listen and answer your questions. Another good tip is maintaining everyday routines. There's a lot of uncertainty in life in general, but particularly right now. So we need to create as much normalcy as possible. So what can we do to keep things running smoothly and predictable for our kiddos? We want to do that. And the best way to do that is to have a family plan. Creating a daily schedule. I really like the one on the previous slide here, especially for little kiddos. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, I love making a checklist of my tasks or my to-do list, because I like that checking off of those things, because it provides a level of control. So if you can create something like that for your kiddos, that's excellent. Children have so little control over their lives as it is. So anything you can do to help them create that list, or make them responsible for moving the little stars or magnets over, that gives them a reassuring sense of control. So that's really good. Oops, go to the next slide here again. And it can be, you know, it really depends on the age of your children, how detailed you might want to make it. In the Eau Claire School District right now, obviously, we're doing the hybrid model of schools. So a lot of kiddos are dealing with daily changes. And I don't know about anyone else. I think I'm not the only one on the planet who's ever said, like, what day is it today? Right? So if you're expecting your 6-year-old to remember that, okay, today is Tuesday and you go to school today, and then you go to grandma's, and tomorrow's Wednesday, so you're going to go to Aunt Mary's. That's a lot to put on a little kiddo, right? So even having some pocket schedules that you switch out each day is a really good way to do that for them and for yourself. It also makes for a smoother morning routine if you've got that all set and ready to go and prepared the night before, so that you can wake up in the morning. Oh, it's Tuesday. We've got our Tuesday bag. We've got our Tuesday checklist. We're providing that normalcy, that consistency. It's also really great to make sure that you're including physical activity in that checklist and family fun time. So, you know, are we so busy that we're forgetting to take that time to sit down and have a meal together, or make a meal together, or play games, whatever it might be? That's a great thing to add to your daily schedule. You want to have plenty of interesting things to do at home. When children are busy, they're less likely to be bored or anxious or sad or get into trouble. I remember as a child, I would say to my mom, I'm so bored, right? Again, probably not the only one. And my mom would say, look, you have tons of toys. How can you possibly be bored? But sometimes kiddos need direction. So it's good to come up with a list of activities with your kiddos of at least 20 things that they can do if they're feeling bored. And again, being sure to include some physical activities. I Googled a list of activities to do with your kids at home. I think the actual thing I typed in was fun kid activities. And there's always things like that, but right now it's like 101 things to do during COVID. So if you can Google it, there's a list a mile wide that you can think of activities to do with your kids. And bring out some of the old ones, build some forts, you know, have a fun fort day at your house. It's not always, doesn't always have to be the same. Well, go play a game or go play with your toys. So have a list of interesting things to do. Number 8, take notice of behavior you like. And again, this is something that we always want to be doing, but you really want to make a conscious effort to pay attention to positive behaviors, especially during difficult times. When your child is being helpful or caring and cooperative, when they're getting along with others, especially brothers and sisters, encourage that behavior by giving plenty of praise and positive attention. And you want to be really specific. So you might say, that was so kind and thoughtful of you to suggest that we video chat with grandma today. I think she's been feeling lonely, and I know she really likes talking to us. Or if you're working from home right now and you have your kiddos at home, that can be really challenging. So saying, thank you so much for playing nicely in your room while I was on my meeting on my computer. And then if it's possible, say, now, because you did such a great job of that, and I'm so grateful, we can take a time, maybe we can read a quick book together before my next meeting, or we can play a quick game together, and just continuously pointing out those positive behaviors. Number 9, help children learn to tolerate more uncertainty. All of my life, patience is something that I admittedly struggled with a lot. So when COVID hit, I thought I was doomed, right? Because I am not patient. I hate uncertainty. I like to have the answers. In my position, I'm somebody that people come to for answers. And I always said, I'll either give you the answer right away, or if I don't know it, I'll find out as soon as possible and give you the answer. That's one thing that COVID has really helped me with, because the more I had to say, I'm sorry, I just don't know, and I just don't have an answer for you, the more comfortable I became with that. And it's good to kind of stretch that a little bit. It also helps us become more creative in coming up with solutions to that, or different options. So nope, we can't go visit grandma, but we can video chat with her. Another thing that I found on the list of 101 things was to write letters to family and friends. You know, we go to get the mail, what's in there? Bills, right? How great is it? Do you just love it when you go to your mail and you have a letter from someone? So that's another great activity. So remember to do that. Last but not least, really important, reach out and connect with loved ones. So is this week Connection Week, Amy?
Yes, this week is connection.
Awesome. So one of the things with the Strong Challenge this week is Connect Week. And so we're encouraging people to reach out and video chat, or, you know, someone that they haven't talked to since high school maybe, or grandma and grandpa, somebody that's alone. You can also, again, do it by writing letters, maybe get a pen pal. Being socially distanced doesn't mean that we need to be isolated. And it's even more important now that we're connecting with one another. So make sure that you're doing that. If we can't do it in person, we do have other means. Video chat, phone calls, social media, have them, you know, write letters. Like I said, everyone loves that connection time. One day my granddaughter wanted to video chat with me, and she took the phone into her playroom, and I virtually played with her for over an hour. And it was a little bit weird, saying, okay, now move my dolly over there. You know, but it was fun. It was different. And I felt really connected to her through that. So you want to make sure that you're having those connections. Amy, is it possible, did you have any questions come up?
I have not had any questions come up yet.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions at this time?
There is a little bit of a delay between our streaming and going on Facebook, so there might be a delay here, but I do think that, you know, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to Caroline, or you can comment below on this video and we'll be more than happy to respond to any questions that do come up.
Absolutely. I do have my email address there. Amy, you can feel free to type it into the chat if you want. Happy to provide more information about the Triple P program. If you do want a list of activities, I think I came up with 70 that I really liked and that were not overlaps from different lists. So I'd be happy to send you that and answer any questions you might have. And so now I'll just wait. Thank you for your time. I hope this offered some good insight, some good ideas for you. So,
all right. Thanks so much, Caroline. And
yes.
We'll get this video up in a couple different spots. And if any questions do come in, we'll make sure to get connected with you and go from there. So thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.